guys, it's Loves to Loom here, and today I'm going to be showing you my new loom design. This is called Anarchy, and it takes about 180 bands to create. Now this design does not have a whole lot of looping. You lay more bands than you actually loop because we don't loop the centers, but I really like how it came out, so I want to share it with you guys. I love the little ring look to the center. So I'm not calling it reversible because the back does kind of buckle in a little bit. I wish it didn't because I like how it looks when it stays open. But I've tried to tweak it and I cannot get it to lay open without affecting the center bands. So we're going to leave it as is, which I'm very happy with on this side. So I hope you guys like it as well. Thank you for watching another video, and let's go ahead and get started. To get started, you will need to have anywhere from 8 to 12 bar pins total, depending on your wrist size. You will have them set up 4 wide like so. 2 middle ones should be aligned, and then the outer 2 should be offset. So you see how these are aligned, and then move up 1 and set your outer ones like so. You'll set the next 4 up right in front of it like so. And then if you're using 12, depending on your wrist size, then you would add the next 4 in front of that. I do typically need 12. But for the video, I'm only using 8, so it's not super long. So I did use 12 for this full wrap. And my wrist size is about 6 3/4, but I like to get my bracelet to be about 7 inches, so it's not super tight. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is start laying our border band, which when I say border, I'm actually referring to this blue down here. So, and just for anyone wondering, the purple expansion was from rainbowloom.com. I'll have a link below if you would like to purchase one or if you need one. Alright, so we're going to lay our borders first. We will start by laying 1 band on the center or 2 for a tighter close. And then we'll go out to the right and out to the left. We're then going to do single chains up the sides. I'm just going to do the right side here, and we'll do 1 in front of the other. Just like that. Now, I have not done this bracelet with any other type of band besides these regular Rainbow Loom opaque bands. So if you're going to use any specialty bands, limited edition, anything like that, just keep in mind that I don't know how that affects the look of it. So you may want to just try a little piece before you spend all that time making a full bracelet, because you know how sometimes, oops, sorry, my fax machine's going off. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Alright, so yeah, but just be careful because I don't know how other bands will affect it, as I was saying. So we're just going to bring this all the way to the end. You're actually going to stop 1 pin from the last because we need to be able to bring it in. If you're using the total 12 bar pins, when I use the total of 12, for this bracelet I actually stop at the 28th pin and then bring it in. I usually do 30, but it made it a little bit too big, so keep that in mind. So we'll come back to the beginning and we will do the same on the left side or opposite side from which you started. And we'll go all the way up. When you get to the second to the last pin, bring it in like so. And now we'll come back to the beginning so that we can start our next set. So for the next set that we're going to lay, it's going to be the white on this one, which are the like X-shaped bands in the middle. And I'm going to use gray for that. And once again, we're going to start down here at the beginning. And we're going to lay X's all the way up the middle. So starting on the left pin, I'll cross it diagonally to the right. And then we'll go to the right and cross it to the left like so. Come up to the next one, do the same thing, cross it diagonal, cross it back. The only thing you want to make sure of is if you start on the left, in the beginning, start on the left every time you start your next X. So we would do this all the way up as well. So I'm actually going to go off camera to finish these X bands. Take it all the way to the end of the loom or where you've stopped your border bands, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I've reached the top of my loom. I actually already went through and pushed all the center X's down. I actually pushed the borders down too, but you don't have to. But you do want to push down the center ones. So take a second, hit the pause button, push all them down, and then you can come back and we can do the next step. So now we are going to be laying the rainbow band, which make the circles. It's the white ones on this one. And I'm actually going to use white again. You can alternate colors like I did. It's up to you. And there's two ways you can do this. So the goal is we're going to be wrapping the band around 4 pins. It's going to make like a square. And then it will overlap because then we'll come up here and wrap it around all these 4. So you can take the time and literally wrap it around each one like this. And then start here and wrap it around these 4 and go all the way up. But I find the bands get really twisted that way. So I'm going to do it this way. So the way that I do it, we have to skip the first row, come up to the 2 center right here, and just lay it like so. Come up to the next one, lay it horizontally like so. And we'll actually do that all the way up. And then I come back with the hook and I stretch it back so that it makes the square. I just do that because I don't like how twisted it gets doing it the other way. So go ahead and lay these all the way up. You're not going to lay it on the very, very last row. So stop 1 pin before the end. I also find it faster to do it this way versus the other way. So it's faster and neater. So as I said, we're going to only lay it on the second to last. Do not lay it on the very last one there. Now, we cannot start at the top pulling the band back to make the square. You have to come back to the beginning. Grab your hook, come back to the beginning. We're going to grab the back part of that horizontal band and you're just going to stretch it back like so. See how it wraps all 4? Come up to the next one, grab the back part of that band, and we're just pulling it backwards. So it's making little squares. You see that? So I'll do that again. Grabbing the back of the band, pulling it backwards, and wrapping it around these 2 like so. It is quite easy. You may want to push back, or not push back, push down, like after you pull it back, push it down. It will make pulling the next one back a lot easier. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see what it's looking like. So it should be looking like that. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of mine, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so like I said, we do not want a square wrapping around the very top section there, so it will be blank there. It's supposed to be like that. So this is what it should look like. Make sure yours is correct. Definitely push down the little squares that we just laid, because now we have to lay one more set of bands on the center row, and it's going to be single chain bands, which you don't really see that much. It's the pink that's in this bracelet here. It's like underneath, so you don't really see them a whole lot from the top. Well, maybe you see through it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm actually going to use olive green for these, and we're just going to start laying single chains up the center. And we're going to need to do that on both center rows. I'm just going to start on this side first, then I'll come back and do the left side. You could do both, it doesn't matter. And we're going to take this to the top, like so. So it should look like that, and then do the opposite side from what you started on, which would be my left center. And we'll go all the way up the same way. So I'm going to finish laying those, then I'll be back and I'll show you how to start the looping. Alrighty, so I finished laying all of my center single chains. I've pushed them down a little bit, and I've turned the loom around so that the openings are facing myself. So go ahead and do that. Grab whatever band you need to make your cat band with. I'm going to use the fuchsia color. And I'm going to wrap it around 2 times on one of the pins to make a cat band, and then I'll stretch it, the whole cat band, over to the other pin like so. So we're going to start by actually looping the olive bands. And when I refer to the inside of the band, I'm going to be referring to the band here. So it's like sitting on the inside of the loom. So it might be easy if you turn your hook a little bit, or not your hook, your loom. You're going to use your hook. You're going to grab the inner part of the olive green band, or the bands on the centers, and pull it straight over like so, wrapping it along the outside pin. So it makes that like U shape. So then we'll come up to the next band that's wrapping around these 2 pins. You're going to grab the inside of that band, and you're just going to pull it straight down. Or straight over, I should say, because your loom will look like this. You're going to grab it like this, and you're going to pull it just straight like that. It's very simple. If you hold your hook just like I am, you can grab right along it, pull it over, and it's very easy. So we will need to do that all the way up. Just make sure you're grabbing the inside and not this band here. You don't want the outside, because then it would just be an open triangle. See the difference? We don't want that. I'm pretty sure you guys all know exactly what I mean. So we'll do that until you've reached the very last one. Like so. So it should look like this. And we have to do the opposite side now. So start back at the beginning. And now this time the inside of the band is going to be right here. And I'm going to actually do it from this side with my hook, because since I'm right-handed, it's kind of hard for me to turn my hook like that. So I'm just going to grab the inner part of the band and stretch it left, like so. Grabbing that and just pulling it to the left, wrapping it around the outside pin. You could also turn it like this, completely to the side, which would probably make more sense. And then you could do it the way we were doing it on the other side, and you're just pulling the band straight to you. Like so. So it should be looking like that if you're doing it correctly. So I'm going to go off camera and finish getting these olive bands looped, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you've completed doing that, come back down to the beginning. We're now going to loop our X bands. They're laying inside there on the center. So we're going to be stretching them diagonally out to the right and the left. But we're going to be doing it a long diagonal, not to here, but to here. I'll show you. So I'll start on this right one. Push back the top two bands so that you can grab your X band. It should be connecting to these two pins. And you're not going to bring it here, which is the closest. You're going to stretch it up to this one here. So it will be the second one up. We'll do the same thing on the left side. So we'll go into this pin here, move the top two bands, grab your X band. You're going to bring it diagonally out, not to this pin here, up one more to here, like so. So we'll do that again. So we'll come up to the next row. Make sure you're getting in front of all of the bands in there so that you're grabbing the very last one on the pin, which will be that X diagonal X band there. And you're going to stretch it up. And you'll know not to put it here because your last band is connected there. So you'll bring it up to the second one. We'll do the same thing on the left side. There is like 3 bands, I believe, 3 or 4 that we have to get in front of. So make sure, again, that you're pushing them all out of the way. Grabbing that very bottom one. Stretch it up and out like so. Okay, so we'll go up to the next row and do that again. And then we have to do the left side also. So hopefully you guys don't find this design hard. I think it's pretty easy to do and pretty quick. So if you're doing it correctly, it should be looking just like this. So to save on time, I'm going to finish mine off of camera. I'll be right back and we will loop the borders. So I reached the top of my loom and I just want to show you guys when you get to the last X set of X's that you're going to loop, you're running out of pins obviously. So you're going to actually lay it on top of the last pin on the outside. So it will be on top of another X band like so. You're going to just bring it to this one here. And you'll do the same on this side. So just bring them out to the side ones like so. That way there's not too many bands on the top one. which is where we close. All right, so now that you're done that, it should look like this. You can push down the outside corner bands. Ooh, almost lost you. Because we're going to loop the borders now, and it'll just make it easier to lay them on there. So this is very simple. We're just going to start at the very first set of pins here. You're going to loop that back to itself, which is that was the very bottom band, and you're going to continuously go in each pin, grabbing the very bottom band and just bringing it forward, which would be back to itself. Like so. Just make sure you're getting in front of those bands to grab that bottom and then bring it forward. So now that I'm reaching the top, you're just going to bring the last one into the center, like so. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. And you'll just loop this side all the way up to the center as well. So I'll finish mine up and I'll be right back. So once you've looped your last bands at the top, we need to grab this bottom band so we can close it up. So go in one of the pins and push back everything in the way except for the very bottom one. You're going to grab it with your hook, bring it up. I'm sure everyone knows how to do this part. And then grab the other side of that same band, bring them together. Grab your C-clip and attach. Use your hook and you're going to release all the top rows. At least that's how I like to do it. And then you can let that go. And then go ahead and release everything on the sides with your hook. You can pull the center straight up. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can use your hook to release everything. I'll be back to show you my finished bracelet. So here's mine off of the loom. You may notice when you first pull it off, the underside bands may be sticking out a little bit, but once you do this and stretch it back and forth, that should fix itself and should fix these center circles, but you can also just go like this and it puts them into place. I mean, all the ones I've made, they just pop right into place on their own. The only thing that you are going to notice is at the top here, this like band right here is popping out a little bit. And you know what? I probably should have not laid it on that pin either. So if that is bothering you, you can actually just take it off. If you have scissors, it would be easier, but it's not going to hurt it. See, I actually made it look a little bit cleaner. So that is how you complete my Anarchy bracelet. I hope you guys have liked it. If you do, please hit the thumbs up button down below. It really helps me out. It'll help get this design out to others as well. Also, if you make this and you have an Instagram account, you can find me on Instagram under Loves to Loom. I'm also on Facebook as Loves TWO Loom. So find me on there as well. So thanks again for watching another video. If you guys are looking for more loom designs, I will have a playlist down in the description box below of other loom tutorials, so you can find that down there. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you real soon at my next video. Bye!